Hi everyone, Joe Kehrig with the Kehrig Real Estate Team, and welcome to your San Ramon Valley update for the week of December 5th. What I want to talk about this week is the headlines compared to the reality, because as you know, headlines in the newspaper and online are meant to grab people's attention. And what grabs people's attention? Negative news, because that's what makes them look, and obviously that's how they make their money when people dive into articles. If you see the positive articles, no one's going to dive into it. So I want to show you some of the headlines, and let's put it to what reality is really about. Do they have some truth in them? Absolutely, but kind of taken out of context, like just a little moment in time. So let's look at this first one. Homeowners have lost $1.5 trillion in equity since May as home prices have dropped. Is that true? Yeah, it's true. But look at this graph. Look at that compared. There's still more equity in the homes than there was literally in 2021. It's just over the last year with the drop in prices. Look how it compares to 2013, 12, all the way back to 2005. Actually, going back to 2005, which was before the Great Recession, there's more than twice as much equity that people have in their homes than they did there. And so is it true that 1.5 trillion has dropped in equity? Yes, but comparatively, it's a drop in the bucket, and we're still in a much better shape than we were even 2 years ago, back to 2021. So homeowners have had very high levels of tappable equity. So when we talk about tappable equity, what we're talking about is equity that they can actually pull out of their home, which is up to an 80% loan to value, providing a cushion to withstand potential price declines, but also preventing housing distress from turning into a foreclosure. The result will likely be more of a foreclosure trickle than a tsunami. So here's another headline. Household debt soars at fastest pace in 15 years as credit card usage surges, Fed report says. Is that true? Yes, a piece of that is true. But look at credit card debt comparatively going back all the way to 2019. Yes, credit card debt went way down in the first quarter of 2021, and since then has gone up and up and up. Well, obviously, we're in a recession. The prices have gone up and up as inflation has just gone nuts. So yes, people will put more on their credit card, but we're basically at the same level as we were in the quarter 3 of 2019. So again, when you look at the big snapshot, it's really not, earth-shattering. It's just going back to when people had so much equity in their homes that they could pull out, that they refinanced while the rates were so low, and they didn't have to put stuff on their credit card. In combination with, obviously, anytime you have inflation, things cost more, so people have to use their credit card more. But when you look in relative to the last couple years, it's just really more of a normal number. Though delinquency rates have risen, they remain low by historical standards and suggest consumers are managing their finance through the period of increasing prices. And you look at this, mortgage debt to income ratios, they're near historic lows. Look where they were in 1980, 4.38%. Today, it's 3.9%. Again, this is mortgage debt to income ratio. Obviously, during the housing bubble, it was over 7%. So look at it. Has it ticked up a little bit in the last few months? Absolutely. But look at it where, comparatively to the graph going all the way back to 1980, still historic lows compared to where we've been, in the last 50 years or so. So for the second quarter in a row, the mortgage delinquency rate fell to its lowest level from the MBA survey began in 1979, declining to 3.45%. Foreclosure starts and loans in the process of foreclosure also dropped in the third quarter, the levels further below their historical average. And look at this, foreclosures are up a little bit, absolutely, from 2001 to 2021 to 2022. But look at it going all the way back to 2003. They are still way low. So if you're a real estate agent or that wants to go out and start, work in REO business, a bank-owned business, real estate owned is what REO means. Or if you're a consumer sitting there going, I'm going to wait for the wave of foreclosures. Well, don't hold your breath or don't wait too long, because it's not going to happen because of the equity that the people have. And you can see where the foreclosures is now. Way, 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 way low. Obviously, it's ticked up a little bit the last year with people just buying the last year. Look at this. Average mortgage rates less than 4%. This is the most amazing part when people talk about the high interest rates that we're dealing with now and maybe foreclosures happening. Look at this. 26% of the mortgages out there are less than 3%. 44.7 are from 3 to 4%. Over 20% are 4 to 5, and then from 5 to 6 is 5.2, and more than 6 is 3.6. So the average mortgage rate of all loans is 3.8, and literally over a 90% of the mortgage rates over there are less than 5%, with the average being 3.8%. So yeah, this rise in interest rate has affected us. You know, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Marry the house, buy the rate. Great opportunity to go out there and get some great deals on homes. Matter of fact, I'll tell you, I talked to our mortgage banker last week. This is the first week in probably 2 months that she's actually quoted the rates, and they were all in the 6s. None were in the 7s. So they've actually come down a little bit more. I expect mortgage rates to be back in the 5s, you know, by mid next year after we go through a spring. So again, buy the house you want. There's some great deals out there. You're not competing against a lot of other people. And marry the house, but then get the ugly rate. And then at that point, you know, drop that ugly rate in a couple years when mortgage rates drop back down. So let's take a look at the market. Not a lot of activity during this time of year. You're obviously going to see activity go down, active listings. Not a lot of people are putting their homes on the market a couple weeks before Christmas. You'll see San Ramon, listings are down. Obviously pending sales are down. Average time on market is up though. Look at Danville. Active listings are up a little bit. Pendings are down a little bit. Not unusual. Active time days on the market, you know, has gone up. I mean, the average time on the market now is 30 to 60 days. So when you put your home on the market, you just know that it's more of a normal market. That's a normal market. I talk to people that, you know, I tell people if I was in a coma for 3 years and I came back in this market right now, I would look at the supply and demand, the average time on the market, and I would say we are really in a normal market right now. So Blackhawk market, listings up a little bit, but also pending sales are up. Alamo, active listings down a little bit, pending's about the same. Basically, you'll see average time on the market is almost 60 days. So it really is just kind of a normal market, stable market, but definitely slowing down as we get into the holidays. Dublin market, about the same. Pendings are down a little bit, which is normal this time of year. And when you look at the averages, you can see the sold to list price is all in the 90s. We're starting to see that come down a little bit, and I'll tell you why is because we had a lot of price reductions. You know, people going too high. And maybe a home was listed at $2 million, listed at 1.8, and then it sold at 1.8. Well, that shows 100%, but it really dropped 200,000. Now, the prices we're seeing are more transparent. If we think it's worth $1.8 million, we put it on $1.8 million, and then obviously people are negotiating any place from, you know, 3, 4, 5% off the price. So we're going to see those stabilize probably somewhere in the mid-90s as far as sold price, the list price. So obviously every market is different. If you have any questions at all about buying or selling, it's a good time to be a smart buyer right now. And you know what? There's no competition, as you saw. Inventory is coming down. Great time to be a seller. Give me a call, Joe Kehrig, 925-487-6838, or drop me an email, joe@kehrigteam.com, or visit our website to learn more about the team and take a look at our listings, www.kehrigteam.com. Remember, we're here for you. Every situation is different. We'll walk you through step by step to decide whether buying or selling is a right move for you, not for us. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.